If your 2026 looks exactly like your today, it's not bad luck. It's a pattern being renewed, and you didn't even notice the renewal happening. There's a specific moment when this happens. Not when you're fired up, when the impulse disappears. You wake up, look at the mental list, and think, it's hectic. Then comes the first small detour. It looks harmless. Today, I deserve it. But the brain doesn't hear deserve. It hears repetition. In 40 seconds, it'll show you why this is so automatic, and why trying to get motivated usually makes it worse. A common scene: home office, blank screen, cold coffee. You open the laptop and don't enter. You just sit there waiting for motivation. Motivation doesn't arrive. And when it doesn't, you negotiate for the least effort. That's where comfort wins without a fight. This isn't moral laziness. It's internal economy. Your brain is trying to reduce friction right now. The system's first trick is simple. It swaps the goal for relief and calls it rest. You say, "It'll look later," and the system hears, you can renew. Renew what? The old pattern. Here is the central mechanism: automatic pattern renewal. A silent rule. In the absence of energy, what's familiar takes over. Notice the detail. Familiar doesn't mean good. It means known. And known costs less to decide. This shows up in money in an ugly way. It's just a monthly fee. The statement says every month. But today we're not doing cuts spending as morality. We're showing how your mind reactivates the old script, even when you swear you want a different one. The old script has shortcuts ready. Remote control. Phone face down, but in your hand. When the impulse disappears, you choose comfort. And that's where the system wins. Not by force, by the absence of resistance. Now, why does the brain renew this? Because deciding costs. And when you're out of fuel, you pay with what's left: attention. Attention is finite, and it leaks through micro drains. 2 minutes here. Quick check there. The cruel part is, you feel like you did nothing. But you did one thing. You kept the pattern alive. And a living pattern is ready-made identity. Just like this. That sentence sounds descriptive. It's permission. Notice how the permission doesn't shout. It comes in a low, adult voice. Today, I can't. Now the next layer. Consistency isn't constant motivation. Consistency is well-placed friction. In the right spot. At the right time. Comfort reduces friction. Consistency repositions friction. It's almost the opposite of what we try to do by instinct. A practical, unglamorous example. If your phone is 30 centimeters away, it's a decision. If it's in a box with a rubber band, it becomes a task. And tasks, you postpone. That's good. Because you're not being strong. You're changing the shape of the path. The brain loves paths. It hates internal debates. So it picks the track with the least arguing. That's why willpower fails at the wrong point. It tries to fight during the fall, when the fall has already started. The internal turn here is simple. You don't need to defeat comfort. You need to prevent automatic renewal. And you can see it in time, not only money. That half hour just to unplug becomes the pattern for the whole night. What composes your week isn't your plans. It's your renewals. The small invisible signatures of the day. If this sounds heavy, look at the scene again. No drama. Just a gesture, hand on the remote. You don't lose the future in one big decision. You lose it in small repeated decisions. And that's exactly how you build it too. Now, what happens when you try to come back full force? The brain reads it as a threat and responds by searching for more comfort. That's why "I'll start on Monday" is so expensive. It stacks expectation. And expectation increases friction. Good consistency doesn't ask for epic. It asks for a small limit and an ugly start. Here is tomorrow's practical test. 10 minutes, no app, no purchase. You're going to choose an entry ritual. That's it. An entry ritual is 3 objects aligned. A blank notebook, a glass of water, a closed phone box. The rule is boring. You only start when those 3 are in place. And you only do 10 minutes. 10 minutes feels like nothing. That's the point. Little doesn't trigger threat. The brain doesn't argue with little. It crosses over. And crossing over is different from feeling ready. If you feel like doing more, don't. You're proving consistency, not capacity. Capacity inflates the ego and dies the next day. And if you feel like skipping because it's easy, even better. Easy is where the pattern can be born. Now the financial detail that ties it together. When you remove decisions from the path, you reduce escape spending. "I deserve it" often becomes a purchase, not out of evil. out of relief. The system buys mental silence in installments. The 10-minute ritual reduces noise. Less noise, less need for anesthesia. And that shows up on the card without any speech. You don't need to become a different person. You need to stop granting automatic permissions. Permissions are shortcuts with interest. Notice how this changes identity without a pretty phrase. You don't say now, "I'm disciplined." You just repeat the start. And repeating the start creates a track. A track becomes a pattern. A pattern becomes "I do this." Tomorrow, when motivation is missing, the test is simple. Are the three objects aligned? If not, you don't debate. You align them. This is the opposite of motivation. It's a deal with your tired self. A deal it will accept. If you fail, don't correct with a big promise. Correct with small friction. Put the phone farther. Sit in the simple chair. The real question isn't how do I get motivated? It's what do I repeat when no one sees? Because that's what decides everything else. And once you understand that, comfort loses its magic power. It becomes just an option again, not a pattern renewed in the dark. The promise of the video was to show the invisible mechanism. It doesn't knock you down at the peak. It pulls you in the valley when you have no drive. In the end, consistency isn't a personality. It's an architecture. An architecture starts with 10 minutes. Tomorrow.